Want to call this April 22nd school board meeting, 2024 school board meeting to order tonight. Thank you for your patience and allowing us to take care of some signatures up here for seniors and get all our board members in here today. The first thing on our agenda tonight we want to do is certify our closed meetings, and that's going to take a roll call. So I'm going to ask our, what's that? I'm sorry.
I move to certify to the best of each member's knowledge that 1, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act were discussed in closed meeting to which the certification applies, and 2, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered by the school board.
Thank you, Ms. Lord. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Hurst. You want to do a roll call?
Yep.
All right.
Mrs. Cave? Yes. Ms. Hurst? Yes. Mrs. Lure?
Yes.
Mrs. Burgoyne?
Yes.
Mr. Cross?
Yes. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. At this time, we want to, for all those who would like to join with us in a moment of silence, we're going to have a moment of silence. Thank you so much. If you will, and if you can, will you stand with me to say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. The first thing on our agenda tonight is recognitions. It's the Brittany Lamb, Kelly Cogsdale character counts. And we do this inside the schools because it is issued by the Virginia Code, and it's a very neat code section to read if you get a chance. Usually at the board meetings I have opportunity to read that code section. And we want to recognize and highlight the many students that display good character and are leaders inside of our schools, and their principals and their teachers are able to recognize them, and we want to recognize them at the school board meetings. So tonight, first on our list is going to be Turner Ashby High School, and Principal Chris Knoll. Thank you so much tonight for opening up your school and for the meal that you provided for the board beforehand. We thank you so much for all you've done for us.
Well-placed clip right on top of the power button. Let me try that again. Good evening, Chair Cross, members of the board, and Dr. Shiflett. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Turner Ashby High School, home of the Knights. While we are privileged to have many students who demonstrate good character on a daily basis, we are proud to acknowledge 2 exemplary seniors this evening as our Brittany Lamb, Kelly Cogsdale Character Count Students of the Month. I invite Sam Briggs and Audrey Garrison, along with their families, to come forward at this time. I also invite David Gregory, our Volunteer of the Month, to come forward. I will turn the floor over to my assistant principals, who will introduce them to you.
I'm Lindsay Cook, assistant principal here at TA. I'm going to speak about Sam Briggs. Sam Briggs demonstrates strong character, makes sound decisions, and sets a powerful example for his peers. He is respectful of his teachers, his peers, and himself. A talented athlete, Sam has received recognition at the all-regional and all-state level. Sam's academic record speaks for itself, with him earning an A in every class he has taken. Congratulations, Sam.
Good evening. I'm Mindy Shiflett, and I'm another assistant principal here at Turner Ashby, and I have Audrey Garrison with us tonight. Audrey embodies what it means to be a knight. She's an academically stellar student who has an amazing 4.13 GPA, and she's going to be attending Texas Tech in the fall. During the past 4 years, Audrey has held many leadership positions, including serving on our current FFA president. Audrey, you have chosen to help others, give of yourself, and add to our community. We wish you the very best after graduation and are proud to present to you the Brittany Lamb Kelly Cogsdale Character Counts Award.
Audrey, come back.
Wait a second, Ms. Hurst. Wait a second. We need to put this on. Let's make this official tonight.
For our students tonight, we have a lapel pin, a gift certificate to Klein's Dairy Bar, and a certificate of achievement. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Will Crockett. I'm one of the other assistant principals here at TA. It is my privilege to recognize David Gregory as our TA Volunteer of the Month. Mr. Gregory serves as the TA Activities Booster Club Treasurer, and he's been doing so for the last 3 years. His wife is an RCPS employee working as the TA bookkeeper. One of their children is a TA alumni, and the other graduates this June, so they are a TA family. As a former AD, I can vouch for the importance of this role. It is integral to running an accountable and successful activities program at the high school level. We thank him for his contribution to the TA school community.
Thank you so much. At this time, we will have John Whalen Elementary School Principal Sarah Hamill.
Can I just add, if any parents want to take photos, this is a good spot, and you are welcome to stand between Holly and I and get a good photo. So I'm a photo mom, so.
Good evening, Chair Cross, Dr. Shiflett, members of the board, and guests. I am pleased to be here this evening to recognize some amazing members of our school community. So first, our Brittany Lamb Kelly Cogsdale Character Counts students. I would like to invite Eleanor Dalrymple to join me here at the podium as she is our first award recipient. Thank you, Ellie. So Ellie's joined here tonight by her mother, Erin Dalrymple, as well as her soon-to-be stepfather, Wes Renaka, and also by her grandparents and uncle, who happens to be an educator and teacher here at TA. Mrs. Hedgepeth, Ellie's 5th grade teacher, had many wonderful things to share about Ellie as we prepared for this presentation. She shared that, quote, if there was one word to describe Ellie, it would be compassionate. Ellie is a beacon of kindness both in the classroom and throughout the school. She serves as both an encouraging force around our building and in our classroom. She's certainly a strong example to her peers. She demonstrates a maturity that makes her stand out positively and is someone who constantly seeks to support others while simultaneously focusing and working on her own personal growth. Ellie clearly exhibits the traits of all the pillars of character and is a true asset to our school and division. Her strong character and kind heart are qualities that we wish for every student and school community member. Her future is bright, and we're very grateful to have her as part of John Wayland Elementary School. Congratulations, Ellie. Our second and final recipient of the Brittany Lamb Kelly Cogsdale Character Counts Award for this year is Alex Benison. Alex, please join me up front as we honor you. Alex came here this evening with his mom and dad, Rachel and Ryan Benison, and his two brothers, Andrew and Austin. His grandparents are also here to celebrate with him. Thank you all for joining us. Alex is also a student who strongly demonstrates the pillars of character at John Wayland day in and day out. His teacher reports that he is the true definition of strong character. Alex is quick to help or offer assistance to peers and teachers alike. He exhibits positivity, responsibility, and honesty, and holds himself accountable at all times. He does this while also pushing and encouraging others to be the best that they can be as well. His classmates like and respect him greatly, and he's an incredibly hard worker, always seeking to better himself both personally and academically. Ms. Hedgepeth shared that Alex is a true joy to know and teach. He makes our school a better place, and we know he's bound for great things. Congratulations, Alex. On to our volunteer recognition. I'd like to invite Mrs. Mary King to join me here. All right. Mary King became a part of the John Wayland Elementary School family many years ago when her children were students there. Her 3 children are now college graduates and thriving in their chosen careers. Although Mary's children have long since left John Wayland, Mary continues to dedicate 3 hours every week for the past 3 years volunteering in first grade. She helps with any number of things in the classroom, including classroom projects, individual lessons, and many writing assignments. Mary is kind and patient and caring in all her interactions with students. She's encouraging and enthusiastic when working at John Wayland, and she's clearly invested in helping children flourish. Her dedication, time, and support are greatly appreciated. Thank you, Mary. We're lucky to have you as a volunteer at John Wayland, and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on our list tonight is Principal from Pleasant Valley Elementary School, Pam Dowry. Thank you, Pam.
Good afternoon, Chairman Cross, board members, and Dr. Shiflett. Thank you for having us here this evening and celebrating our children. Our first Kelly Cogsdale Brittany Lamb Character Counts recipient from Pleasant Valley would be Miriam Stover. So if Miriam and her family comes up and stands with us. Come on, fellows. Don't be afraid. Miriam Stover is recognized by her teachers for being a very helpful, responsible, and motivated student. She is kind to everyone with whom she comes in contact, both students and adults. Pleasant Valley is lucky to have this wonderful young lady who lives out the pillars of character. Thank you, Miriam, for all you do for us. Thank you, Mom. And now I'd like to invite Jackson Williams to the podium with me, along with his family. So we have some parents and grandparents here tonight. Jackson Williams is recognized by his teachers for being an incredibly responsible, pleasant, helpful, dependable, and caring student. Because of these honest and humble traits, Jackson is extremely liked and respected by his peers and any adult who has the pleasure of being around him. Jackson helps to make Pleasant Valley live up to its name. Thanks, Jackson. Congratulations. And now I would like to invite our Volunteer of the Year, Lois Most, to the podium with me. Mrs. Lois Most, our Volunteer of the Year of Pleasant Valley, has made an incredible impact on our first grade library program. Her dedication shines through as she enthusiastically helps with weekly lessons, engaging students in the joy of reading. Mrs. Mouse's picture book, Read Alouds, is a highlight, captivating young minds and excuse me, sparking their imaginations. Her commitment to literacy and education is truly inspiring, and we are immensely grateful for her invaluable contributions. So thank you so much, Ms. Lois.
Let's give all of our character counts recipients and volunteers another round of applause.
It's one of the favorite highlights of being a board member and seeing all the kids come up and receive those awards. And I just want to say thank you again to the parents who raised those kids with good manners, and also for the principals and teachers that work with them at school. So thank you so much. The next on our list tonight is the Inspire Awards, and this is something that the RCPS began doing back under Superintendent Carol Finn. And this is a great opportunity for parents or other teachers or someone to be able to recognize great things that's going on inside of our schools. So some of the students will recognize their teachers, or it might be a parent who recognizes a teacher, or we were at one meeting that I think at Spotswood, I think it was Spotswood, where they had the custodian was recognized, and that was just really special and a great moment. So tonight we're going to start with the Inspire Awards, and Mia Flory is a student. She's going to be presenting to Melissa Paulson, math teacher at Turner Ashby High School.
A math teacher may not have the opportunities to invest in their student lives through their subject like other teachers, but Ms. Polson has always kept conversations with her students regarding their life a common practice. She realizes being part of the Turner Ashby High School community means her students will be involved in various activities, and that her lessons need to be flexible to serve them best. As a student athlete and leader in school, Ms. Polson has always uplifted me in my goals I'm working towards, and has been gracious in giving me guidance to make up her class when I need to. Her support and well-planned teaching methods has greatly impacted her students' attitude when it comes to engaging in mathematics. I and many of my peers who were once apprehensive have found a renewed confidence in our abilities because of the way she thoughtfully instructs. Ms. Polson has also excited me as an aspiring teacher. I will remember her as a prime example of how I want to manage my class and form relationships with kids when studying education in college. Her aim to serve the school and caring personality are elements I strive to possess as a teacher.
Thank you, Ms. Polson. Next on our list tonight is Elena I. and Riley Harper, presenting to Carrie Showalter, English teacher here at Turner Ashby High School.
Hi, my name's Lainey. I'm a junior here at Turner Ashby. Ms. Showalter is my English teacher. I've had her now for 2 years. She's always kind and cares for her students, which really shows. I know Ms. Show would help me with if anything I needed, because she always puts the effort to making sure her kids are okay. Her character is amazing, but I love her teaching as well. I have been someone who has never cared for English or reading, and Miss Show has changed that. It's still my favorite of all time. My favorite all-time thing, but I read now more than ever, and I really try my hardest in English because I love her class. Ms. Showalter definitely deserves the Inspire Award for all that she does.
Thank you. Next, presenting tonight is Kylie Aker and Destiny Armentrout, presenting to Michelle Kello, math teacher at Turner Ashby High School.
Okay. I nominated Miss Kellos because she's sweet and understanding, a teacher, and she always has a positive attitude and is willing to help. She's a great person to talk to when it comes to actual work, whether it's geometry, advanced geometry, or algebra, or any type of math in general. She's always willing to help. She explains things so that you understand it. She takes the time to make sure you understand it. She's supportive and so positive. She gives really good advice, and she's a great teacher. She's always open to helping you do homework, classwork, and whatever else you may need. Being around her will not only put you in a good mood, but it will make you feel prepared. She makes you feel prepared. Wait, I just said that. She always has a smile on her face and never treats any of her students differently. She always helps them all, and she's just a great person.
I would like to nominate Miss Kello for her kindness, helpfulness, and how she makes her class such a nice space to be in. This is my junior year of high school, and I have been consistently given schoolwork and homework all throughout the year. During the first semester, I was at school mostly every single day, but during the third quarter, I ended up getting pretty sick about halfway through, and I missed many days of school. I was able to catch back up in every single class but geometry, which is Miss Kello's class. In the process of catching up on missing geometry work, Miss Kello was an extreme help by letting me stay after school to catch up. That is the main reason I wanted to nominate her, because she didn't have to let me stay after, but instead she took time out of her day to help me make sure my grades are the best they can be. In all of my years of attending a public school, I don't think I've ever once had a teacher let me stay after school, but Miss Kello is different. For that, I think she's a teacher I will never forget. She has made such a huge impact on my life, even if she doesn't know it. She's also very kind and has a heart for others. One time she noticed I wasn't feeling well and asked me if I was all right, and I've also never had a teacher ask me that question before. It is nice to be able to come into her class knowing no matter what, I am accepted, I am heard, and I'm going to learn something new every single day. This is the first math class I've ever taken that I've truly enjoyed, and for that I would like to thank her for everything she's done, not just for me, but for everyone who she's had in previous years. Thank you, Miss Kello.
Thank you, Ms. Kello. Thank you for all the teachers, the impact that you're having on our students. And thank you to the presenters tonight. It takes a lot to be able to stand up in a crowd like this. And so all of you guys did a great job presenting. Next on our list tonight is we're going to have Miss Becky Ford, and she's going to be presenting quite a few awards.
Good evening to Dr. Shiflett and the board. Thank you for having me. You're right, I have got a pile, so I will try to speak quickly. We've had just so many accolades going on in the fine arts world that we want to make you aware of and make sure that everybody is aware of the wonderful things that our kids are doing. So to begin with, we have All Virginia Elementary Choir. So this past Saturday, 180 students from across the Commonwealth were honored by being the best elementary musicians and choir students in the Commonwealth, and so they got to come to Spotswood High School. We hosted it here. Those students spent all day learning about 6 hours of rehearsal with a guest clinician who we brought in just for that event, and they just did such a wonderful job. And so I know it was tough. The auditorium was so packed with parents that many people weren't able to go. So I brought you a small clip, about 90 seconds, of what we were able to see there. So you can see on the left the selections that the students prepared. All of these were memorized, so students memorized all of that music. And I chose 3 pieces that I wanted to share with all of you. So those were just 3 little snippets of what they did. It was just so amazing. And that final piece translates in Swahili to, the joy is in you, the joy is in me, and joy is what we all need, so peace be with all of us. So I want to appreciate everything those kids did in that video. And so as you can see, we've got a bunch. We're going to ask that everybody hold your applause until all the students and teachers are up here. We're going to get them all up. Teachers are going to distribute the certificates, and then we'll have time for parents to take one big group photo. So students, if you could kind of go along the back of the stage as you go up, and teachers will help with certificates. So if you would please come up when your name is called. Emmeline Craver, Vincent Davies, Adrian Gakos, Kennedy Joyner, Hudson Mormon, Adeline Swartley, and their teacher Betsy Hulvey from Peakview. From Plains Elementary, Christy Alvarado Gomez, Caden Barb, Audrey DeLauder, Ruby Haberstroh, Paradise Haddad, Elizabeth Lamb, Cardi Magenhofer, Sterling Ritchie, and their teacher Greg Conway. From John C. Myers, Adria Bolton, Lilia Ernie, Jahaziel Castillo Luis, Samantha Keller, Eve Life, Ellie Walkley, and their teacher Angie Clemens. From John Wayland, Anna Louise Birkland, Isla Douglas, Grady Gardner, Delaney Hyam, Eileen Mendez, and Amani Overman, and their teacher Marianne Houff. And from Lacey Spring Elementary, Berea Lamb, Giancarlos Patricio, Vinny Perez, Katie Stange, and their teacher Caitlin Ernest, the elementary All Virginia choir participants from Rockingham County. Wonderful. Thank you so much, and another big round of applause for them. Students, if you would, please come over this way to this side of the auditorium so you can get your certificates from your teachers. Next on our agenda, we're just going to keep on rolling with the musical accolades. At the high school level, All Virginia is done a little bit differently. With choir, when students go to district choir, they have the opportunity to audition. So first they have to make district choir, and then they're eligible to audition for all state choir. From our district and from our Rockingham County, the following students participated in All Virginia Choir, which consisted of them going for 3 days to Richmond this past weekend, participating with a world-class conductor, and just being part of the best music ever. We are missing all of Broadway High School, unfortunately, as they have a concert tonight. Such is life of a performer, but we do want to make sure that we recognize all of these students. So if they will please come up when called, and if you will hold your applause until the end. From Broadway High School, Natalie Flora, Lila Anderson, Avery Tewalt, Hannah Good, Ivy Herrick, and their director, Anna Goodwin. From Spotswood High School, Helen Paget, Shagun Patel, Reese Mills, Aiden Cahill, Kenneth White, and their director, Dr. Jordan Davidson. And from TA, Emily McAvoy, Macy I, Brett I, and their director, Ian Dively. While you smile for your parents and look generally pleased. Thank you, Dr. Davidson. All right, the All Virginia Choir students. Lastly, there is a whole separate process for All Virginia Band and Orchestra, which is fairly intense. So if you make all district band and you are the top 1, 2, or 3 chairs at district band, then you are eligible to audition. But you have to audition all in one day. So the last Saturday in February, if you've ever been around JMU and it's absolutely nuts, it's because all the best musicians in the state are coming to JMU to audition in person. So everybody auditions on that one day. It's incredibly difficult to get. We don't have any district quotas, so you have to beat out everybody from Nova who's had private lessons and everything. This year we had Mina Fukumura on violin, whose teacher is Stephanie Schock, and Ivor Fry from Broadway High School, whose director is Cameron Flake. And again, Ivor and Cameron are having a concert tonight, so we wish that they were here, but we believe we have Mina Fukumura here. Yes? And I believe those are all my certificates. So thank you so much for supporting music in Rockingham County. We really appreciate it because we've got some amazing, amazing students.
All right, next on our list is going to be Miss Tammy Stone.
Chairman Cross, Dr. Shiflett, school board members, and guests. I'm very excited to see so many people here so that we can recognize all of our students for all of their accomplishments. And I'm always inspired by the Inspire Awards as well, so I just wanted to share that. I'm here to recognize the Solar Challenge winners, and then we're going to have a short little video from them as well. So Rockingham County last year had some solar, our first solar challenge was from Hilliard, and this year we have them from Hilliard and Pence, so I'm very excited that we have grown them. And not only that, but we swept the state with the first, second, and third place winnings across the state, which is very exciting. So, yeah. So I'm very proud of them and their teachers. And their teachers are Tracy Rhodes, Kathy Glick, and Obie Hostetter. And so now, oh, thanks, yes, they do deserve a round of applause. Perfect. So now I'm going to very quickly just say their team name and what they won and their first things. And if they want to come up here to be recognized as I do that, that would be great. And they can kind of stand forward as we go. And if you guys could just hold your applause until all the students' names are read, even though they know that, that you would be applauding for each one of them, that would probably help us save a little bit of time. So for first place in the state was Team Avalanche. They're from Hilliard. They are Caroline, Braylon, and Allie. They also at the regionals won Dream Big Award, and they were second in the regionals at Shenandoah University. Thank you guys very much. So second place in the state was Team Handy Helpers, also from Hilliard. They are Aaron, Easton, and Mason. And they were also first in the regions, and both of those two first teams I mentioned are heading to, hopefully, heading to nationals with school board approval next week. Thanks. So then we have our third place state winners, which are Green Monsters from Pence, and they are Parker and Corbin, and they were also first in the regionals for Charlottesville. Second place in Charlottesville regionals were the Solar Trio, and they're from Pence, and they're Zevian, Blake, and Charlie. And they also got the highest knowledge score of all of the teams at the Charlottesville competition. Third place in Charlottesville was Team Solar Dudes. They're from Pence. And that was Noah, Mitchell, and Kyle. And they also won the People's Choice Award. And then the Circuit Masters Award at Shenandoah went to Team Solar Baby, Caleb, Connor, and Noah. And they also were the 2023 national winners of the Solar Challenge last year. And then also, we had another team that competed at regionals, meaning they made it past districts. So, and that was, they competed at Shenandoah, and that was the Zookeepers from Hilliard. And that's Isabel, Elena, Sophie, and Sophia. So thank you guys very much. And now we're going to watch a short video that they created. If you guys want to, if everybody would love to give them a round of applause before we start the video. And we'll let them set, yes. And a special thank you to Obi who made the video for us.
I'm Zev. I'm Charlie.
I'm Blake.
And we're the Solar Trio. Our project is about a car in a town that's solar powered in our solar powered town.
Our car moves through the city to deliver our pizza, and I had the most fun at the regionals and state competition.
It was also a lot of fun at regionals because Miss Glick bought us ice cream from McDonald's, and it was great while we waited for like 2 hours.
My name is Noah. My name is Mitchell.
My name is Kyle.
And we are the Solar Dudes.
The inspiration of our project was military bases in the Middle East where energy could be hard to transport or possibly not safe.
The reason we made this project was, one, because we enjoy talking about solar, but two, because we wanted to find a new, innovative way for the military to be more self-sufficient in the field.
The thing that we most enjoyed was creating the project and being able to go against other teams.
My name is Parker Harold, and our group name was the Green Monsters. The reason we built our project was because the area we live in is a lot of farms. We wanted to show how farms could save money with solar panels. And something fun I did was building the project. Thought that was fun.
I'm Sophie. I'm Elena. Hi, I'm Sophia. Hey, I'm Isabel, and we are in 6th grade, and we've created a solar-powered zoo. Our name is the Zookeepers. We thought a zoo is a good idea because it has a lot of moving parts and provides the opportunity for solar. I also thought it was a good idea because the whole idea of a zoo is to protect the animals, and by making it run on solar, we are protecting the environment where they live. I also thought a zoo would be a good idea because not only you're learning about the animals and how they live, but also how to incorporate solar into it. I thought a zoo would be a good idea because of all the memories and the fun activities the zoo brings. Some challenges we faced were getting the snake to move back and forth while trying to get the microbit and wires to stay in place. Also, we had some trouble getting things to work consistently and making all the solar components work properly. We also had some troubles getting all the codes to work properly and hiding the wires. We had a lot of challenges with everything we made, but the most frequent ones were the ones with a lot of wires. We had some setbacks with the coded concession stand sign also. The codes were either too fast or we didn't have any pauses, so it wasn't readable. So that took a while. We have all learned a lot from this project, but one thing that really stuck out to us was how much you can do and make move with solar. We also learned how to make codes and make different types of circuits. We learned a lot of life skills about coding, presenting, and more. We also learned how efficient and reliable solar power really is. Thank you for listening to our project, and we are the Zookeepers.
We are the Handy Helpers.
My name's Mason.
My name's Aaron.
And my name's Easton. We are representing the school of JFHMS.
For our project, we made a solar-powered prosthetic can. We got the idea from our teacher, Ms. Rhodes, to create a 3D prosthetic can, but we wanted it to run off renewable energy.
Some challenges we ran into along the way were small problems like the fishing wire getting stuck, wires becoming undone, and not getting enough power for the parts we were using.
One major setback we had was on the way back from regionals, our project fell face first on the ground and completely destroyed everything we had built. Some things we've learned is how to problem solve and overcome obstacles.
We are the Handy Helpers. Thank you for watching our video.
My name's Allie. My name's Braylon.
And my name's Caroline.
And we're Team Avalanche.
We're all in 7th grade. We go to J. Frank Hilliard Middle School, and we made a ski resort that runs off of solar. We have 3 cabins, a lodge with a microbit, a hotel, a snowblower, and of course our ski lift. Our inspiration for making a solar ski resort is that we all enjoy skiing and have very fun memories there with our family. It's also one of our favorite hobbies. We had many challenges with our ski lift, specifically the weighted ear wire belt and our runners. We also have a motion sensor light that is under our ski lift, so when the chair on the ski lift comes around and goes over it, it lights up a green light. We coated that with a microbit.
We learned that ski lifts use 146,000 kilowatts per hour. That per month. If they, however, switched to solar, they would save $10 an hour. So that sums up to be $7,440 per month saved by solar. We also learned how to create more complex circuits.
That's our project.
We are Team Avalanche.
Breaking news. 3 kids have built a model of a solar-powered amusement park. They're from J. Frank Hilliard Middle School, and here they are to tell you more about it. I'm Caleb.
I'm Noah.
I'm Connor. And we're Team Solar, baby. We built our project because we knew amusement parks use a lot of energy. So why not make that energy renewable? So we made it run off of solar.
One of our challenges was sometimes some of us couldn't go to our block, but our biggest challenge is getting the roller coaster to work.
We learned that we can't have too much, otherwise it can be overwhelming to make and show.
Thank you guys so much, all of their work, and especially to their teachers who took the time both during school and after school to help guide them. So I think I'm on for the next one as well. So I'm recognizing for the Shenandoah Valley Regional Science Fair recognition. We have 3 winners from the science fair from Rockingham County. Only one of them could be with us tonight. One of them is presenting somewhere else, and the other one ended up being sick today, unfortunately, so she could not come. But I am going to recognize all 3, and when I get to the one who is here, would love them to come up. So the first one is from Spotswood High School, and they're also a Massanutten Regional Governor's School student. And they won the Regeneron Biomedical Award for the best biomedical research at the science fair, which is very impressive. It's actually one of the only 2 ISF awards that the Regional Science Fair gives. Our second winner at the science fair was a TA student, and it's Blue Johnson. So Blue, if you could come up, that would be great. Awesome. So I have to tell you a little bit about Blue here. First of all, I think these 3 students are the perfect example, and Blue being, he's actually did this in 8th grade as well, of a student who can be self-motivated enough to plan their science fair project, do all of their work, and have everything together. And then truly, they, just like the Solar Challenge kids did, represent Rockingham County so eloquently at the science fair. And they're often competing against numerous governor's schools and things, and yet Blue won first place in the Division of Excellence in Mobility Engineering, which is so impressive. And I will say, I tried to advise him on the project, but I wasn't even sure, so I had to get two JMU physics professors to meet with us, just so that I could make sure that his project was safe, because I wasn't entirely sure after he explained it to me 3 times if it was safe or not. So, and it was safe. They did determine that, but it's really amazing. So we're very proud of Blue. Thank you. And the last one we're recognizing is Reese Secord. She won first place in Medicine and Health and the Gold Award for her project. And hers was building an artificial pancreas. And so through all of these projects, it's interesting to see how the kids persevere, work independently, and really showcase that they are ready for the next stages of their career. And I could not be more proud of these students. So thank you very much.
That's great. Thank you so much, Ms. Stone. At this time, we are going to take a 5-minute break for all those that need to get up and leave, and board members, if you need to use the restroom real quick, but we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we're going to go right into board member highlights. All right, we'll go ahead and start back into our regular meeting. If you want to continue talking, you can right outside. It's no problem. But we want to go ahead and start back up. Next on our agenda tonight is school board highlights, and I'm going to start with Miss Jackie Lohr.
Great, thank you. So I had a impactful and exciting couple of weeks. Sadly, our musical season has come to an end, and I know there were lots of musical kids here earlier. I was so geeking out, so good to see you guys. Unfortunately, our last musical was at Elkton Middle School, and it was Annie, and it was fantastic. So I was able to attend all the musicals this year, and if you didn't get to one, you've got to make it a priority for next year because our students are so incredibly talented, and it was just so amazing to see all of them, and that's something I really enjoyed. Something I can just sit back and enjoy. It's so nice. I was also able to I made a couple of trips to Folks Run. I was able to read to students, and at Folks Run, you can read to the whole school in a day. It's pretty awesome. So I did that, and it all ended with all the kindergartners giving me great big hugs, so it was so awesome. It was so great. And then I was able to go back another night for the family night that they were having and got to see all the kids interacting with their parents there at school. So it was really neat to see that, and I thank Folks Run for doing that for their students. I know a lot of our schools do that, and it's just great when parents and students can interact within the schools. And then I was also able to attend the Virginia School Board Association Conference in Winchester. I was able to take artwork for our students to compete, and I actually got back 2 pieces of artwork because we were winners in 2 categories last year. This year, the other schools brought it, and the competition was fierce. So we didn't have any winners this year, except the artwork was amazing. So I'd like to thank our art teachers for preparing our students to be able to compete in that, and just such wonderful pieces that they had. And then I think my final highlight is being here tonight and seeing all of you all. Thank you all for coming. The Inspire Awards were absolutely amazing, and I think she may have stepped out, but it was awesome seeing the Inspire Award given to Ms. Showalter tonight, because Ms. Showalter and I attended this school when the doors first opened, and that, friends, was an experience. You think the temperature's a little wonky in here tonight? It was wonky every single day. It would be cold. It'd be cold down there and hot over there, and you had to dress for all the seasons, much like we're doing now. But thank you to all the staff at TA for making us feel welcome and for preparing the building so well. And those are my highlights. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lohr. Ms. Hurst, I'll go with you next.
I want to highlight a program, or more like a partnership that Dr. Carell Clark has started with Merck. And I was invited to come to TA to observe some of these lessons in action. And so I got to see an EL classroom that was filled with 11th and 12th grade students. And next year, I hear that the program is going to be expanding to Broadway and hopefully Spotswood after that. But what I did get to see was a really good lesson in what it means to be a citizen in the United States and what citizenship looks like, how to vote, what your rights are, your responsibilities as citizens. It was just really great. We had great conversation with students from all different backgrounds as they're learning to navigate the United States in this country. And so I asked Dr. Carell Clark to provide a few of the lessons topics that they have done, and I just think they're really great. Rights and responsibilities in the workplace, banking basics, intro to criminal law, and then they have a 4th session on being a good citizen, and that's the one that I observed. And I can't say enough good things about what I observed, and I think, excuse me, and I thank Merck for partnering with us in that, because the information that the students learned is just incredibly valuable. My other highlight this week is I have a student who also attends Pence Middle School, and it's band concert time. So I was really excited. My son plays in the band, and so it was just amazing to see all of the students in the progression from the December concert until the April concert. It's just amazing what our band directors can accomplish in a very short amount of time. But I was also just amazed at the talent that our students have in the jazz band in 6th grade, 7th and 8th grade, just an incredible group of students. And they also, Miss Harper also has a group of students who meet and they have like a string quartet. And so I thought that was really neat. They played a couple of pieces, and so it's always awesome to get out there and see our students just really excelling in all the different ways. And I will add, as a separate highlight, several of the students that we've seen tonight here being honored for various things, I also recognize from athletic events, from musicals. We've got kids that are double dipping in a lot of different ways and really just are phenomenal. So those are my highlights for this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Hurst. Ms. Cave, go with you next.
I also got to see Annie Jr. at Elkton Middle School, and it was such a delight. And just like all of the others, they just so much hard work and heart poured into it. I really enjoyed it, especially there at Elkton Middle School. My very best friend from Elkton Middle, her daughter starred as Annie, and it was just a joy to watch her really find her niche. And some of the stories that I heard amongst the students that helped one another with all of the nerves, I'm like, wow, you know, you see that stuff when they get older, but to see people, you know, to observe it in the middle school setting where they help each other and encourage one another and make sure they get on that stage on the day of the show, it's just, it's very uplifting to me. And so we even got to take our kids to that one, and they talked about it for a week, you know, the different parts, and they giggled and they laughed, and really they didn't really understand orphanage and stuff, and so we had to have talks with them about that. And so it was a really great play. And the way I understand it is that Miss Angie Dean came out of retirement to make sure that play happened, and I just think that shows really strong leadership there, and just want to thank her for doing that. And I also had the opportunity this week to be at Riverbend for a tea party with a kindergarten class, Miss Constable's class, and I just enjoyed that thing so much. They were so sweet and so mannerly, and Miss Constable is just a staple at Riverbend. And just to know that she does, well, we know this, but that she does more than just teach reading and writing, that she teaches these things that will go with them their whole life long, and manners are so very important. So I knew that she did that, but it was such a great thing to get to see it in person. So I just want to thank her for that, and those are my highlights.
Thank you, Ms. Cave. Ms. Bergloin?
Okay, so one of my highlights was going to the MTC Bistro, and I am not sure that very many people know about the MTC Bistro. I posted about it on Facebook and put some pictures of our food, and I took my husband met me there, and we took our twin boys, and they loved all of the food. But people were like, I didn't know they had this. This is such a cool thing. I didn't know they had a place you could go eat. So if you have not been or you did not know about it, just go to the MTC website, and I think it's at the bottom. You can click on the bistro. You can pre-order food, or you can go, and we pre-ordered, but then when we got there, we sat down, and they have it. I mean, it's beautifully done. There's artwork on the wall from the students. The way they set the tables, the food was amazing. It was just a really cool experience. So I think they do it on Thursdays and Fridays. So it's not every single day, and it's only open for an hour, but very cool experience. Definitely go. Really cool location that you can go to and sit down and eat. So I recommend checking it out. They do a lot of different foods, not just burgers and fries kind of deal. It was very, very well planned, and the food was amazing. And for my 4-year-olds to both eat was awesome. So that was really cool for us. I also did the Broadway High School seniors, they did a local government field trip. So Mrs. Laura and I'm so upset you did not say that was one of your highlights, because we had a blast. So the seniors got to come through from Broadway High School, which was cool, and we partnered with a lot of people to just tell them about local government jobs and just cool stuff. I thought we had the coolest thing. Next year we're going to be more prepared with like snacks and candy and slideshows and all kinds of really cool stuff. I don't know what else. We'll plan better. But that was really cool seeing the seniors and kind of tell them about what we do in the school board and hearing everything else. I think they were downtown all day and kind of did a rotation. So that was really fun. One other thing that I got to do was volunteer at my kids' school at the book fair, and that was a blast. And I spent a small fortune on bookmarks. So I have every bookmark out there right now. But that's all my highlights.
Thank you, Ms. Burgoyne. Dr. Shiflett?
Thank you, Chair Cross. First of all, I want to say again, congratulations to all of our students who are recognized this evening and their parents for Character Counts, Inspire, Fine Arts, Science Awards, and it's just our teachers and students are doing great things in our schools every day, and it's nice that we take a few moments to recognize it. I too had an opportunity to see Annie Jr., and I'm not just always impressed with the talents of our students. As many of you probably are aware, spring sports are well underway, and it's a busy time of year in the spring. I have had an opportunity to catch a couple of varsity baseball and softball games and a few soccer games, and hopefully I can get some tennis in there in the next few days and some track. Also wanted to highlight, last week I had an opportunity to go to JMU to the Festival Center. The JMU Center for Economics Education was hosting the Global Entrepreneurship Marketplace, and two of our schools were there competing, South River and John C. Myers. And it's really interesting to see how they build this idea of entrepreneurship in our students at such a young age, like just thinking about, sort of that American dream, owning your own business, right? And how do you start it, and what's the risk, and all those things. And then finally, I'd like to highlight, we have a couple of students who are going to be interviewed, I believe, tomorrow morning for their film, Knocking Down Walls. And I think they showed that to us back in the beginning of the school, back in the summer. And Good Morning America will be interviewing a couple of those ladies tomorrow morning, I believe. So that's pretty exciting.
It's really exciting, really exciting. Thank you, Dr. Shiflett. Thank you, board members, for just the amount of time that you spend in the schools and going around in different events. I know it takes a lot of your time and energy, so I just want to highlight you guys and say thank you for all you guys are doing and going into the schools and seeing what's really going on. So thank you so much. I also want to thank Board Member Cave for chairing the last meeting. I wasn't able to be at the last meeting. Twice a year I get an opportunity to travel with my church to Central America, and she took over the meeting for me last meeting, and I so much appreciate it. I got a lot of feedback from a lot of people that said you did a great job, and so thank you so much for taking on that responsibility and doing that. I do want to recognize tonight our front office staff in all of our schools. And anytime you walk into any of our schools, that's the very, very first person you're going to come in contact with are our ladies in the front office. And I just want to recognize them all as a whole because I believe we have just a fabulous group of people who work in our front office staff. And particularly, I want to recognize Miss Tina Kaufman at Elkton Elementary School. I wish that they could all go through training, as Miss Cave and I have talked about, and have to be trained with Miss Kaufman. But she does a fabulous job of just making you feel welcomed, caring for you, not only you, but the kids who walk in, the parents who walk in. They are our first person that the public or parents get a chance to see when we walk into our schools. So thank you so much for all our front office staff that you put into our schools in Rockingham County. And that's my highlights for tonight. I'm going on to action items on our agenda tonight. Will be to approve the minutes for the April 8th, 2024 meeting. And do I hear a motion for that?
I move to approve the minutes of the April 8, 2024 meeting as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Hurst. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Burgoyne. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion passes 5-0. Next on our agenda tonight is field trips, and Superintendent Dr. Shiflett has that.
Board members, I have several field trips for your consideration. Spotswood High School Senior Leadership Trio Retreat, May 3rd through 5th, 4 students, Washington, D.C. Independent Study, April 22nd through 23rd, 4 students, Farmville, Virginia. Turner Ashby High School TSA STEM Competition, June 25th through July 1, 12 to 15 students, Orlando, Florida. FFA State Convention, June 24th through 27th, 13 students, Virginia Tech, Blacksburg. And J. Frank Hilliard Middle School Kid Win World Challenge, May 5th through the 8th, 6 students, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I do recommend approval of these field trips.
Thank you, Dr. Shiflett. Board members, hearing the superintendent's recommendation, do I hear a motion to follow that recommendation?
I move we approve the field trips as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Lord. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Hurst. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion passes 5-0. Next on our list tonight is Ms. Bentley, approval of the RCPS Special Education Annual Plan. And I just want to say right up front, thank you so much for the time and effort you guys have been putting into this.
Thank you. All the thanks should go to our schools and all the folks that work so hard to support students, teachers, and support staff and related services. So yes, I was here a few weeks ago to present the RCPS Special Education Annual Plan. This plan serves as a formal agreement between our school board and the Virginia Department of Education that we are implementing federal law and state regulations regarding the education of students with disabilities, and your approval tonight is contingent upon the release of those funds so that we can do that thing. So I'm here tonight to ask for your approval.
Chairman Cross and board members, I recommend approval of the Special Education Annual Plan Part B flow-through application for the 2024-2025 as presented by Melissa Bentley, Director of Pupil Personnel Services, on April 8th, 2024.
Thank you, Dr. Shiflett. Board members, hearing the superintendent's recommendation, do I hear a motion to follow that recommendation?
I move to follow the superintendent's recommendation to approve the special education plan, Part B follow-through application for the 2024-2025 as presented by Melissa Bentley.
Thank you, Ms. Millord. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Burgoyne. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes. Yes. All opposed, no. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Bentley.
Thank you.
Next on our list tonight is the CTE Perkins Local Plan 2024-25. Mrs. Carrie Gray will be presenting that.
Good evening. An executive summary of the Career and Technical Education 2024-2025 Perkins Local Plan was presented at the last meeting, April 8th, 2024. This plan outlines the budget and assurances for federal and state CTE funding, and the plan is presented for possible approval this evening.
Chairman Cross and board members, I recommend approval of the CTE Perkins Local Plan for the 2024-2025 as presented by Carrie Gray, Supervisor of Career and Technical Education, at our April 8th, 2024 meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Shiflett. School board members hearing the superintendent's recommendation. Do I hear a motion to follow that?
I move to follow the superintendent's recommendation to approve the CTE Perkins Local Plan for the 2024-2025 as school year as presented by Carrie Gray, Supervisor of Career and Technical Education.
Thank you, Ms. Hurst. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Cave. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes. Yes. All opposed, no. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next on our list is Ms. Tammy Stone. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Thank you. So I'm actually here to make a motion to form a textbook committee for 3rd through 5th grade elementary science textbooks. So this committee will consist of 2 parents, 1 principal, myself, and numerous 3rd through 5th grade science teachers. to look at materials to support elementary science instruction.
Chair Carlson, board members, I recommend approval of the 3 through 5 Science Textbook Adoption Committee as presented by Tammy Stone, Supervisor of Science.
Thank you, Dr. Shiflett. School board members, hearing the superintendent's recommendation, do I hear a motion to follow that recommendation?
I move to follow the superintendent's recommendation to approve the 3rd through 5th grade science textbook adoption committee.
Thank you, Ms. Ward. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Burgoyne. Questions or comments? I have a question. What's going to be the makeup of this committee?
There are 2 parents, and then there is 1 principal, myself, and then there's at least 1/3, 4th, and 5th grade teacher. There's actually 6 teachers that are on there. And in that committee, we will be reviewing the VDOE-approved science textbook materials to determine which is most suitable for that.
Okay, and how will you pick the parents that will sit on that committee?
I actually reached out to the principals and asked them to see if they could find any parents that were interested. And so I have 1 parent from Folks Run and 1 parent from Riverbend, so I at least have both ends of the county represented. And then whatever books that they're looking at, I will probably, as similar to language arts, put them in the main area to be reviewed in case anyone else wants to make comments on them.
Okay. I'd like to see a parent from each district be represented on that committee, if all possible.
Okay.
That would be great.
I can do.
Thank you.
So do we need to table this?
No,
Since,
I don't.
because
I don't
we
believe-
have a list here. I thought that's what we were voting on.
Can you go over the list? How soon do you need to start on this?
Ideally, fairly soon. We were hoping to use, if possible, before June 30th to purchase.
And right now, we have only 2 parents. But are they listed on here? I'm not seeing them.
Amanda Ritchie from Folks Run and Rachel Seal from Riverbend. Are any of these other teachers parents by any chance?
I actually think several of them are, yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Never mind. All right. Let's not change it. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's okay. That's okay. Any other questions or comments? In the future, will we just add that we would have 1 from each district?
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, thank you.
All right, all those in favor, say yes. Yes. All opposed, no. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. All right. Next on our list tonight is a policy revision. And I think, Dr. Shiflett, you have that.
Yes, I'm going to deliver this on behalf of Dr. Amy Painter. So the county government and our school division are moving to an online format for open enrollment for benefits. And it has been recently been determined that the vendor that's going to be doing this cannot write a program to automatically calculate benefit start dates based on our current policy, GCBC. The reason is we have numerous job classifications and contract lengths which require each new hire to be reviewed on an individual basis. By changing the policy, this will allow a streamlined process with little to no manual calculation. Implementation cannot proceed until the policy changes are approved. If approved, the policy will not take effect until July 1st, 2024. They're just trying to figure out how to write their algorithms to make this a seamless process. And right now, the wording of it says, if you start on this date, then this changes. And we just want to make it, if it's before the 16th, then it goes this month, and it's after, it's there. So it's just more seamless, and then they can get, can get started on their process. And I recommend approval of the revisions to the policy as presented.
Thank you, Dr. Shiflett. Do I hear a motion to follow the superintendent's recommendation?
I move to follow the superintendent's recommendation to approve the revisions to policy GCBC as presented.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Cade. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Lohr. Any questions or comment? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes. Yes. All opposed, no. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. All right. Next on our list tonight, G, is supplementary materials policy, and I want to have Ms. Hurst talk about this tonight, but I also want to thank Ms. Hurst and Ms. Kay for all the work you guys have put into this policy. We've been on this journey now since January, and a lot of hours has been spent on this, so I want to say thank you to both of you for the amount of time that you put in to this, and Ms. Hurst, I'll let you have the floor.
Good evening. Tonight, I'm going to be providing an update about some changes that were made since the last school board meeting on April 8th. I'm just going to walk through and highlight a couple of the changes that we made and just highlight the policy number. So for IIAB, nothing changed between, we made no changes between April 8th and tonight. If you end up looking at IIABA, we made a change under criteria for selection. We added literary awards and reviews from standard professional selection sources and historical educational use. On policy IIABB, a couple of things we added or tweaked. Under the content complaint procedure, we added that the Content Review Committee will review the challenge supplementary materials in accordance with policies IIAB and IIABA and the criteria set out therein, and then provide a recommendation to the superintendent. So it was more of a little sentence referring to back and forth to two different policies. Under procedure, we added that the complainant, anyone that's challenging the supplementary material, the complainant should reasonably make himself or herself available to meet with or provide further information to the CRC as the CRC undertakes its review. Under procedure, item number 2, we changed the language from supervisor of media services to supervisor of English. On the next page, we also added that the school board, this is under item number 2, that the school board may, for good cause, approve reasonable extensions to the CRC review period. Such extension requests may be made by the superintendent. Next on that policy, we're still on IIABB. Item number 4, once the supplementary material has gone through the procedure described herein and a decision has been made by the school board, the decision regarding the specific supplementary material, for example, the book or title at issue, that decision will stand and RCPS will not entertain another complaint about that material for 4 years from the time of the school board's decision. Under supplementary materials complaint procedure in the second paragraph, where we have that teachers and librarians who work with parents and guardians to ensure that their child's supplementary material selections are appropriate, we added that that would be done on a case-by-case basis. Is it 2 years? Oh, my mistake. I need to go back and say that that material under item number 4, let me go back and read that again, that the decision made on a supplementary material decision, it's a tongue twister, I apologize. Once that decision has been made, RCPS will not entertain another complaint about that material for 2 years, not 4 years as I previously stated. And I think those are all of the changes for policy IIABB. Taking a look in the last policy that had just a few changes, which would be policy IIAC. This one was, we had changes and tweaks throughout the process. One of the changes we made is under the procedure for number 3, that no complaint, we struck through, no complainant may file a new challenge until any previous challenge has been resolved. On the second page of that document, under number 4, we struck through a portion of the sentence just to clean up the language a little bit. It says if the complaint cannot be resolved, And it says, to the satisfaction of the complainant. And we struck through that because the understanding is that the complainant, the principal, or the staff person has 10 days to challenge the recommendation, and so we remove the language to the satisfaction of the complainant so that it is more clear. And finally, the last change that we made is in that same section, changing again supervisor of media services to supervisor of English. And I think those are all of the highlights to the changes that we've made since April 8th.
All right. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about this, but for the meantime, do I hear a motion to approve this policy?
Yes. I move to follow the recommendation of the Library Materials Committee to approve approve the revised supplementary materials policies.
Thank you, Ms. Hurst. Do I have a second? I'll second it. Any questions or comments at this time? No? All right. This is going to be a roll call vote. So I'm going to have our clerk.
Mrs. Hurst?
Yes.
Mrs. Lohr?
No.
Mrs. Burgoyne?
Yes.
Mrs. Cave?
Yes.
Chair Cross?
Yes. Motion passes 4-1. Thank you. Moving on into our information items tonight. Ms. Dean is going to give an overview of the Rockingham Academy.
Good evening, Chairman Cross, school board members, and Dr. Shiflett. Thanks for having me tonight to talk a little bit about Rockingham Academy. I take a lot of pride in this school. It's my first year as principal, so anyone that doesn't know me, my name is Leah Dean. My first year principal at Rockingham Academy, a nice little school wedged between MTC and Pleasant Valley Elementary. It was established in 2018, meaning that the building opened where the building currently is. Prior to that, it was Dayton Learning Center, which was housed at the old Dayton Elementary School in Dayton. So we have been Rockingham Academy since 2018. The Phoenix was a mascot that but the students worked to adopt this year. Rockingham Academy is the alternative school for Rockingham County. It serves grades 7 through 12. Students are placed there for various reasons, including small class sizes, credit recovery, social emotional concerns, behavior concerns, sometimes because of early graduation, and sometimes just because of more independent coursework or they're at risk of dropping out. Instruction is received through online delivery system called Edgenuity. We also have FACS and ag teachers that provide hands-on learning, and a lot of the classes also have the hands-on learning incorporated with the online learning system. If you have questions as I go and you want to ask, just let me know. So, how do students get to Rockingham Academy? There's an application process that we review monthly, an all-ed committee consisting of me and 3 other central office staff members review applications that the schools can submit. Sometimes they're placed per a discipline committee due to behavior. Sometimes they're placed for a placement hearing. Most often that means that they've moved out of district and they have come from an alternative placement or residential setting, and they'll go in front of the discipline hearing committee and come to us before going to their home school. We also house the ISAP program or the GED program at Rockingham Academy. Our staff is small. We have 4 high school teachers, 1 for each subject, 1 behavior support assistant, an early intervention counselor, 2 middle school teachers, resource officer. We have a GED teacher specific to our GED ISAP students. We have a SPED teacher that serves 7 IEPs and 7 504s currently. We have a PE and a half position, and we also have therapy animals. We have 2. Currently, the makeup, and this is as of today, of our school is we have 15 Broadway students, 10 East Rock students, 10 Spotswood High School students, 26 Turner Ashby students, and then we don't have any Pence students or J. Frank Hilliard students at this time. We have 5 Elkton Middle School students, and we have 2 Montevideo Middle School students. And I've broken them up so you can see, because we already have had students finish graduation requirements. We've also, so everything up there, the HL is home learners. We have a couple kids who have been placed on home learning. So right now we're accounting for 68 total students at our school. We're unique. We have a no cell phone policy, so all the students who come in our building lock their cell phones up in the morning. We don't allow book bags or bags. We prefer to have a smaller class size of 7 or 8 students. We do have some perks, like students can earn off Fridays with no unexcused absences. They have to be on track academically, and they can't have any behavior issues Monday through Thursday. And it only happens when we have a 5-day school week. Instruction is offered primarily through our online learning system, Edgenuity. It's very important in our building that personal relationships are formed between the staff and students. Our cafeteria and gym are combined. We call it our gymateria. All of our meals are brought down from Pleasant Valley Elementary School, so we only have a serving line. So Pleasant Valley prepares all of our lunches and breakfasts for our students, and they are brought down to them. And we are walking distance to MTC, which is a nice perk. So as a first-year principal this year, I had set some goals. I walked into a fine-oiled machine, but I needed to put my personal touch on the building. So first and foremost, I wanted to build collaborative and positive relationships with staff and students, which I feel like I've accomplished. We did add driver's education to our curriculum, which has been amazing, because as you all know, that's very expensive, and our students did not have that, but we were able to offer that this year. We developed a food pantry for students to have access to daily snacks and a lot of times even take food home on the weekends. I built a master schedule that shortened classes to 65 minutes from 90 minutes, and we do offer 4 classes on odd days and 4 classes on even days, which is different than last year when it was a 3x3. I really wanted to give students more options of electives, so we've added some electives to our schedule, including marketing. Our advisories at time, I wanted to steer away from using Chromebooks because that's what they do most of the day. So my teachers really took a hold of that. We have an art advisory, yearbook. We have reading buddies that go up to Pleasant Valley and read to the first graders, which has been amazing to see. We have a reading remediation group of students who are working to build their reading skills. And then we have a group of kids that plays board games. So that 30 minutes of advisory, they're not allowed to use their Chromebooks. I wanted to ensure all students finish classes, and as of this morning, we have 88% of our students on track to finish all of their classes by the end of the school year.
Good job.
Wanted to increase our SOL pass rate, so we really worked hard to incorporate intentional remediation, and that has proven to be helpful. We wanted to choose a mascot and beautify our building. That's in works, and we wanted to increase communication with students on home learning. So I took that over, and I oversee our home learners and make sure I touch base with them every week. Some wonderful accomplishments this year that I want to brag, and our teachers and our students do amazing things. We've had 109 class credits earned this year. 10 seniors have already completed graduation requirements. We have 4 students who have already completed their ISAP. We have 5 students successfully complete driver's ed. 2 students who transition back to their home schools. Student artwork is displayed in our school. Our mascot was chosen. All students and staff were provided with RA apparel per senior request, thanks to Dr. Aldifer. Middle school repurposed the greenhouse, and we will be growing vegetables and flowers this spring. 2 of my 9th graders passed their first SOL ever. When I say ever, I mean ever. Our agriculture students received 17 mowers from community members, and they serviced them. So they sharpened the blades, changed the oil, and everything. A student won the Massanutten Regional Library Essay Contest, and the Spotswood High School teacher was named and honored as the Teacher of the Year for the whole contest out of 250 essays. And 2 students made cutting boards that were auctioned off at the Agricultural Heritage Dinner for over $450 2 weeks ago. So that's just to name a few of the amazing things that our students and my staff have done at Rockingham Academy. Questions and comments?
I'll start with board members.
Will you share about the mascot choice?
Yeah, so we decided, our students really wanted a mascot, and we talked about, they picked like a stallion, they went through, and we voted on it, and the students really chose the Phoenix because we view our program as a restart, a repurposing, a renewal to their educational career. So it was very meaningful, and it's rising up out of a book because a lot of our students come in academically behind. So we work very hard, and all of our students, we have sweatshirts when they've been in the building, and our students wear them with pride, and it's amazing to see. It's got the Phoenix on the back, and it says RA, and we've gotten about 12 new students since we purchased the sweatshirts and t-shirts for them, and they're like begging us to make sure that they get a sweatshirt. So the Phoenix was something that the students picked, they chose, and they picked the meaning of. So they take a lot of pride in that.
That's great. That's great. Do you know the cost of what one of those sweatshirts are off the top of your
Well,
head?
if you order in bulk,
Okay.
so that's the problem. If you order individual, like it's $42 a sweatshirt.
Okay.
When we ordered 80 plus between our long sleeve t-shirts, our sweatshirts, and our t-shirts. We ordered 80 plus, and it was more in like t-shirts were 12, long sleeves were 16, and the sweatshirts were 22.
So if someone here tonight would like to make a donation, could they stop by the school and receive that?
Sure.
Great. And to help go towards a student that may not be able to afford one. So, anybody want to do that, you can stop by RA. It's on Pleasant Valley Road, and it's such a great highlight. Thank you so much, Ms. Dean, for all you do, because the alternative education that you're running out there it's more than just where the bad kids go. You know, I mean, these are kids who, a lot of kids want to be there, and they don't like the large class sizes, and they do better in the smaller class sizes. So thank you so much for taking your time and doing that. I've been a recipient of the cutting boards that they've made, and I'm just so blessed to be able to have that and to be able to have received that. So please tell him I said thank you again for that, and Mr. Rhodes for what he does in shop. So, any other board members?
I have a couple, and I have some comments and a couple of questions. First of all, I am so convinced that there is no one better for this job than you. Like, I feel like the guy at the table that's like, Miss Dean is the best, like, change my mind, you know, that thing that you see online. But I just, in the 4 short months that we've known you, I've seen your heart, and I've also seen your wisdom. And so I wanted to thank you for what you do. When you're talking about the current population being 68, what's the max occupancy?
So that's a good question. That's something that we've worked through. We have 4 content teachers, and for anyone that's been in our building is an amazing building, but it's a smaller building. I don't know, but right now we could probably take a few more students because we have really good students, but I think each year it would be different based on our population of students. But I don't have I would like to know an exact number as well, because that makes my life easier. But I'm not 100% sure what the exact number of students we could take would be. Right now, our smallest class size is 4, and our biggest class size is 10. Our math and our English classes tend to get bigger because everyone needs those classes. And they need social studies and science too, but you need 4 Englishes. So our highest is 10 right now, and our lowest is 4 kids in a class.
Okay, all right. And then the no cell phones.
That's amazing.
How's that? I mean, that's awesome. I think that's so good. do you have any problems when they come from a school or they come from whatever situation they come in? Have you seen, like, is there a problem with, hey, you can't have your cell phone? They adjust.
Surprisingly enough, we haven't. Of course, we have the student who tries to put one phone in their locker while they have another phone in their pocket, but typically throughout the day they get caught with that, and usually it's one conversation. But they seem to really embrace it. I mean, we have a little bit of pushback typically in our first meeting that we have with the student and the parent, and they just can't fathom not having their phone all day, but they usually go through the motion, and within a few weeks, it's just what you do.
Yeah.
Just what you do, and there's not a lot of issues, and it is a blessing to not have the cell phones as a distractor. We had a student come today that will start tomorrow, and he said that he's excited not to have his phone because that's been the majority of his issues. So.
Wow. Yeah, to hear that from a student, right, should tell us something as adults. And I also noticed when you were talking about the more electives that there's no Chromebook advisory options, and I like that, and I like the alternatives, and we talked about that before, the different things that you're doing to replace that kind of activity, and I think that is excellent, great leadership. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to repeat myself, but this was my board highlight last time. I don't know if you heard, but about, where we came in and had lunch, and it was just an awesome experience. And I think I said something like, I feel like Misty and I could call you at any point and be like, I need help, because I think you're just a helper by nature, and you'd give the shirt off your back for anybody. I'm like, I've met you a handful of times, and I feel like I could call you for anything. So I see that with how passionate you are with your kids and your school, and I love that, and I think your kids see it. So it's awesome. It's an awesome school.
How many years did we sign your contract for?
1 year at a time.
Well, you can't go back to Augusta County, so. We thank you for all that you do. Any other board members? Thank you tonight and coming and presenting. We thank you so much. Please tell the staff how much we appreciate them as well, okay? Thank you, Ms. Dean. That was well deserved. Miss Becky Tennell.
Chairman Cross, members of the board, and Dr. Shiflett. Haven't seen you in a little while. It's my first board meeting for a little bit. The Virginia School Board Association puts out new policies 3 times a year, and they did their update in February. There were 40 policies that they updated, and instead of trying to bring you 40, we're going to bring them to you in clumps. There is going to be another release in May, and so I'm just going to see you for a while. I'll say that. The policies that you have before you this evening, they're not a big deal. I mean, they're good ones for you to look at, but they're all very minor changes. So, for instance, they decided that they needed to capitalize school board in a policy. So we need your approval on that. There's some cross references that are cited, very minor things. They changed the name of nurse, like once a year they decide to call a nurse by a different title. So there's nothing really significant here. The lactation support for employees, we've separated that out because now there's a requirement to have lactation support for students, so that's a little bit different. And you can see that there's a policy that's been deleted. I've talked to Mr. Reed about that. He doesn't have any concerns. I think the Virginia School Board Association is really looking to make sure that the things that they have in their policy are legally required. And if they're not, they're taking things out. So these are the policies we bring in to you for information. At the next meeting, I'll come back and we'll ask for action on them. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them at this time.
Board members have any questions? If we do have questions, would it be okay? We'll schedule through Dr. Shiflett an opportunity
Sure,
to come
that would be fine.
out Central Office and talk with you. So, all right. Any other board members have any questions? Thank you, Ms. Tennell.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. All right, that will move us into public comments. Let me find my sheet for public comments. Actually, let's take a recess for 2 minutes, and we'll come back for public comments. All right, thank you so much. All right, thanks. I would just ask tonight, as everyone comes up for public comment, just to follow our rules for character counts, and that would be it. Our first person on our list tonight to speak is Miss Nancy Bassett.
Good evening. I'm Nancy Bassett, and tonight I'm speaking for myself and for 229 of my colleagues. And this is a letter that we're going to be sending to you. We, the undersigned teachers and staff of Rockingham County Public Schools, love working in this county, and it's a great place to live, teach, and raise a family. We acknowledge that the current members of the school board made promises and outlined initiatives in their campaigns, and the citizens of Rockingham County decided through a democratic election of these people that they should represent them on the school board. This part is uncontested. There is a current member of the school board who has served with distinction for several years, and we thank her for her service. We also acknowledge the essential role that families play in the well-being of the students, and we are committed to a partnership with parents and the community on how to best help our students. The school board ought to be an open, receptive, and supportive place for teachers, parents, students, and the greater community. It should be deferential to educational experts, professionals who have committed their careers to public education. And while many teachers do not personally agree with some of the policies that you've implemented, we are obligated to carry them out according to our contracts. What we object to is the way in which some of the policies have been implemented and how certain school board members conduct themselves. First, the implementation of policies has been poorly planned and poorly executed. While establishing a new process for evaluating library books may be within the rights of a school board, pulling a select list of books that happen to match a list from a website used to challenge books in libraries, especially when a policy had already been in place, gives the unwanted appearance of the school board playing politics. This was done after citing parental complaints as the reason for pulling these 57 books, despite no formal documented complaints. And when formulating the new policy, the school board almost totally ignored both the draft policy submitted by the librarians and the feedback from the community. The community is also being fed a false narrative by the school board as to what is going on in the schools. Teachers are being cast as part of the unhinged left, and part of the school board is presenting themselves as crusaders against leftist indoctrination. This is not the reality that teachers see in their schools. Certain school board members are manufacturing a crisis in order to push their political agenda onto a nonpartisan elected office and have shared negative and dismissive views concerning RCPS teachers. A member of the school board has posted on Facebook with calls to report to the school board teachers who are suspected of sharing their political views in the classroom.
Thank you, Ms. Bassett. Your time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Bassett. Next on the list is Harry Atwood. Listen, it's okay to clap and to get behind what everyone said, but we do want to be professional about this tonight. So I would ask that we would remain professional as professionals in here tonight. And after, if you want to clap for someone that gets up and speaks, if you want to clap for someone that speaks, that's fine. But let's just keep it professional. So the next on the list tonight is Harry Atwood.
Good evening. My name is Harry Atwood. I taught for 20 years here at Turner Ashby High School. retired in 2022, and my purpose here tonight is to complete the open letter that Ms. Bassett began reading. I'll pick up roughly where she left off. Despite promises from a member of the school board to take down an official Facebook page, they have instead chosen to keep the page up in order to be a, quote, continual voice for parents, close quote. While this promise has been renewed, we are concerned this divisive rhetoric will continue through other means. Fourth, the term parental rights has been manipulated to suggest that parents have somehow been excluded from their children's education, or that parents are prevented from knowing what is going on in the classroom. This misconception is particularly damaging to the climate of trust we strive to build between parents and teachers. We fear these actions from the school board are meant to turn parents and the community against teachers. So far, the board's responses to concerns have included criticizing the media, criticizing others on the school board, moving public comment to the end of the school board meetings, and limiting the number of people allowed to speak. We have a number of concerns about the long-term effects of the school board's conduct. These include the following. One, that good teachers will quit and look to work outside of this county. Two, that the county will no longer attract good teachers if they do not feel supported by their school board. Three, that the actions of the school board will garner national attention, reducing our county to a sideshow attraction. We encourage the school board to do the following. One, seek the guidance and counsel of experienced educators like the superintendent when implementing policies, as well as the school attorney and other education professionals. Such consultations may prevent potential legal issues like when prayer was invoked at a school board meeting. Two, act in a professional manner with the dignity accorded to this elected position. This conduct should extend to social media postings. Three, be a role model for the students and seek consensus when making decisions. Four, support the teachers as you claim to do. And five, commit to maintaining public schools as a space for equality of opportunity for every student. We sincerely hope the school board will take these suggestions seriously and cease their divisive, misleading, and hurtful actions. If any student asks us about the letter or why we signed it, we will simply refer them to the letter and encourage them to come to their own conclusions, as we have always done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Atwood. Next on the list tonight is Ashley Gordon Becker.
Good evening. We, the over 500 undersigned parents, guardians, grandparents of students attending Rockingham County Public Schools, have deep concerns about the current state of affairs within our school system. Deeply invested in the education and well-being of our children, we feel compelled to express our perspectives and advocate for positive change. We understand that members of the school board were elected by the citizens of Rockingham County to represent our interests and ensure the best possible educational environment for our children. However, recent actions and decisions have fallen short of this mandate. It is imperative that the school board operates in an open, transparent, and supportive manner, not only for teachers and staff, but also for parents, guardians, students, and the broader community. We entrust our children to the care of educators and expect that decisions made will prioritize their best interests. We are troubled by the manner in which certain policies have been implemented. The lack of proper planning and execution has resulted in confusion and frustration among parents and students alike. Moreover, politicizing certain issues, such as the evaluation of library books, undermines the integrity of our educational system. Furthermore, the characterization of teachers as political adversaries and the dissemination of false narratives about their conduct in the classroom is unacceptable. Teachers deserve our respect and support. We are also troubled by attempts to limit public discourse and transparency within the school board. Moving public comment at the end of meetings and restricting number of speakers only serves to silence concerned voices and hinder constructive dialogue. We have serious reservations about the long-term consequences of the school board's actions. We fear that talented educators will be driven away and that the reputation of our school system will suffer. The morale of those who stay may also be seriously undermined, weakening our excellent system. We urge the school board to reconsider its approach. Seek input from experienced educators, parents, and other stakeholders when making decisions that impact our children's education. Conduct themselves in a professional manner in both official capacities and on social media platforms. Serve as positive role models for our children by prioritizing the common good and mutual respect over political agendas. Support and empower teachers in their mission to provide quality education. Uphold the principles of equality, equity, and the opportunity within our public school system. We implore the school board to heed our concerns and work towards fostering a more collaborative and inclusive educational environment for our children. Our collective future depends on it.
Thank you. Next on the list is Heather Harris.
Whoa, sorry. Good evening. I invite each board member to reach out to the schools in their districts and have a conversation in person with that school's employees. Listen to them, be open to them, hear their concerns, and rejoice with them as they celebrate. This was part of my public comment on April 8th and was also in an email that I sent to my district's board member on April 10th. I have yet to hear back. Hopefully, the other board members have reached out to set up visits with their school's teachers. In closing, you've already heard a lot tonight, but have you listened?
Thank you. Ms. Joan Hughes.
Good evening. My name is Joan Hughes. I am a parent. I am a former teacher. And I want to applaud and thank the school board for taking up the issues that mattered most to the voters in 2023. Many parents have been upset that books are in the school libraries, that even in the public libraries, anyone under the age of 18 is not allowed to check out. They're in the adult section without a parent okaying it. You have formed a committee to tackle this issue. Anyone, teachers, parents, Joe Smith off the street, was able to come and comment. I have been to some of the school board meetings where both teachers and librarians have talked and supported these books because of their literary value. There is no literary value in these books and no need to have them in the library where a child might accidentally be exposed to them against their parents' wishes. There are hundreds of other books that have literary value in the libraries that they can read. A second issue I would like to address is the uncalled for attacks on the school board, including an article in the Daily News Record that was signed by former school board members and administrators on this school board's ethics. Each school board has the right to have whatever legal representation that they so desire to have. To change a lawyer is their prerogative. I don't care how many years another lawyer has been on the board, helping the board. If you want to change it, that's your responsibility and ability to do. Also, to assume that old school board members have so many more years of service on the board that they're more ethical and superior to our current board is ludicrous. They were once newbies on the board as well. As was shown in debates and information put out by the last school board, these members did not support what was best for our students. They supported porn in schools, though not even taking the time to review these questionable books. Transgender bathrooms, the masking of our children, and not even discussing or voting for all of our governor's recommendations for the education of our children to keep them healthy and safe. While I don't agree with transgender activity, it's not for me to judge. However, I do feel they need protection in the schools as well, but not to the detriment or unease of other students in school restrooms and locker rooms. A third issue I would like to suggest to anyone waiting to address the school board, is that they respect the board.
Thank you. Next on the list tonight is Nina Jessup.
All good? You're good. Good evening, Chairman Cross, board members, and Dr. Shiflett. I'm standing here this evening to express my disappointment. To me, it seems like immediately following the school board election, an organized group started taking aim at the school board. The arrows have come from many directions, and you all have fielded them with grace and patience. I am disappointed in those who have consistently bullied the school board. There's a clear divide in the community The majority of the school board is conservative, while those who oppose them are not. It's that simple. A letter from former school officials last week shines a light on this divide. The letter, which focused on replacement of the legal counsel as agreed to by the majority of the school board members, is at their full discretion. You are entitled to select your counsel as you wish. The public is not privy to the reasons for this change, nor do we need to be. It's your decision. Honestly, after reading this article, I was feeling like, is this sour grapes? Where is this really coming from? It didn't really make sense to me. Regarding the book policy, it feels like this has been talked about and talked about and talked about, and it's been blown out of proportions. The school board has now crafted a policy with input from librarians, teachers, and the public. Don't say that they did not. They did. They took input from everyone to craft this. As I understand it, not all the books on the list are considered inappropriate by the school board. Some of them are fine. I strongly believe that most parents would agree that books containing vulgar, sexually explicit material and sexually explicit diagrams, or books with graphic violence such as murdering babies, is simply not necessary to be available on the shelves in schools. Some of these books have been found in the adult section in public library, and therefore begs the question, why are they available in a school or schools? This is an issue of decency, not a book ban issue. Schools have some responsibility to parents when students are on their campus. It's best to err on the side of caution for students. Finally, I want to note the positivity I have gleaned from the school board meetings and the efforts taken to make schools safe for students, staff, and teachers. As I understand it, teachers and staff have been asking for security measures such as card readers for some time now, and now they can rest easier. Thank you for making schools safer. Thank you for lifting up students and teachers. I believe that all of you are good people, and you only have good intent. So please, carry on. Thank you.
Next on the list tonight is Catherine Ward.
Good evening. My name is Catherine Ward. I'm an English teacher at Broadway High School. On March 19th, I asked my AP Literature students to write an in-class essay exploring whether a novel they chose for the third grading term counts as a classic and should continue to be read by high school students. The following is the essay response from Lexi Dingus, an EMU-bound senior and a stellar student athlete, if you guys don't know her. I thank Lexi and her parents for their permission to share her words today, and I will let her work speak for itself. A classic is often described as an exemplary or particularly noteworthy expression of life, truth, and beauty with a lasting freshness. At times, it can be difficult to precisely define those words, as they were often set by a group of the societally elite. However, in terms of The Awakening by Kate Chopin, it's quite easy. Through Edna Pontellier, Chopin gave light to some of the many hardships that women can encounter in a lifetime. In today's society, where women have larger and more important roles, that may not seem important or difficult tasks. However, in 1899, societal roles and opportunities were much different. Chopin's ability to express emotions of defiance and longing when times were much different is something that should be seen as noteworthy. Feminism, while it has always been around, didn't become acceptable until a much more recent time. This further extends the beauty behind her work, as she utilized her novel to speak for those without a voice. In all of these ways, The Awakening has a lasting freshness that has given those that read it a new perspective on life and society. Literature is crucial to the developing mind, as it promotes and improves the thinking and decision-making processes of the brain. This extends the importance of quality reading during the earlier stages of life and development. Enlightening literature that teaches important life lessons are crucial pieces to school systems globally. The Awakening is one of the pieces of literature that needs to be read around the world. In her work, Chopin extends ideas that were once frowned upon. Not only has she been able to increase the realm of possibilities for women in her time, but she empowers the young girls that have read her work for the past 125 years since it was published. It's a refreshing testament to the beauty and adversities of life, as it provides an imperfect perspective on those things. This enlightens its readers to strive for happiness rather than perfection, and it strengthens the idea that perfection is impossible. Furthermore, The Awakening brings attention to the importance of self-discovery, as it follows the story of a woman finding her true identity. For all those reasons, Kate Chopin's The Awakening should be a part of high school education around the world. And then just to editorialize slightly, I believe that students are our most important stakeholders, so we should hear from them more. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the list is Kylie Aker. Kylie Aker. I said it. Kylie Aker. Okay, we will move on. Michael Stemple.
Board members, Dr. Shiflett, thank you for this opportunity to speak. Let me talk about character counts, because we saw these wonderful kids that we have in Rockingham County. So let's talk about things that make exemplary character, and let's talk about the board and see how they match up. So 6 pillars of a character: trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, citizenship. So you can go to charactercounts.org and you can read about these different pillars of character. Under trustworthiness, be honest. Do not deceive, cheat, or steal. Unfortunately, this board has shown the public it cannot be trusted to give accurate information about the development of specific policies. As already pointed out, it banned 57 books without a single formal complaint from a parent, which is one of the justifications given for the ban. Respect. It says under charactercounts.org, under respect, deal peacefully with anger, insults, and disagreements. Be considerate of others' feelings. I have observed a member of this board publicly admonish another board member on this board in a childlike, demeaning manner. In front of, children watch this. That's disgusting. Citizenship. Make choices that protect the safety and rights of others. This is what it says in charactercounts.org, the safety and rights of others. This board has shown the public that it cannot be trusted to protect all students. After multiple students and parents have told this board of the harm that the Youngkins model policy can cause, the majority of the board voted to implement them anyway. One board member even commented that they are not moved by suicide statistics. Character counts.
Thank you, Mr. Stemple. Next on the list tonight is Patrick Fritz.
Good evening. Always good to see you, Jackie. Everybody else, pretend this is red. I actually don't own a single piece of red clothing, but I'm standing with y'all. So, you may or may not know, I am a retired U.S. Navy senior chief. In 2002, I attended the Senior Enlisted Academy in Newport, Rhode Island. And you learn some interesting things about leadership, right? As a submarine sailor, as somebody who was responsible for and accountable to 150 young men every day for their safety and well-being, I understand the true burden of leadership. And part of leadership is truly behaving in a way that you are above reproach. We're human. We all make mistakes. I have certainly made mistakes in my life that I'm tremendously embarrassed by. I've mentioned it before. Very low point in my life, I made some mistakes, and it really, really hurts. But as a leader of my family, I stepped up and changed myself, took accountability for my own actions, and moved forward and built back better, really. Now, when we talk about leadership and leadership of our families, I get truly offended when I am lectured about that, about how to lead my family by people who have actively abused their office and the powers of their office when issues regarding their family have been brought up, when their children have been referred to the office for disciplinary problems, and a board member walks in and says, "Do you know who I am? Do you know what my position is?" When you have board members sending emails directly to teachers, not through the admin, not through central office, directly to teachers, saying, "Why are you targeting my children?" That's not leadership. I will not, nor will this community be lectured by people who can't lead their own homes.
Next on the list tonight is Maylee Allen. Is she here? Maylee Allen? Okay. Molly Grief. Molly Grief. Sandy Parks.
Good evening. Being number 15 on the list, I wasn't sure I'd get a chance to speak. But congratulations, board. You have just approved a massive censorship policy. Make no mistake, censorship is what you just approved. By approving policies that have no provision for judging a book by its whole, which is mandated in the Supreme Court, Miller versus California, in its definition of obscenity. We've talked about that before. That's been pointed out numerous times in the responses to the survey that you ignored. I read those responses. I saw the number of times that people asked that you respect literature being judged as a whole, instead of pulling out passages and calling them pornography. When your definition for sexually explicit content is based on a weak part of the state code that refers to what state employees can view on state computers. That has nothing to do with literature. Nothing. Nothing. And yet, that is what you pulled from that parental notification law, which also within that law, it says very specifically that this law shall not be construed to support censorship in school libraries. Shall not be construed to support censorship. What did you guys do? Ha! You took the law and you used that to support censorship in school libraries. The governor even affirmed that part of the law when he actually vetoed the law repeating that and said that that was redundant. It was already in the law. And yet you ignored that. And you ignored the First Amendment rights of our students to have books that reflect their experiences, for them to find themselves in books. You want them to be reflections of something that they're not. And we need to respect our children and their ability to choose what is important to them. Now, you have also received this weekend a letter from a law professor at Washington and Lee. I urge you to read that very carefully because she laid out all of the constitutional cases that you all are violating, the Miller versus California, other court cases that you are now liable for. So I hope that new lawyer you got knows his stuff, because I think you guys are going to find yourself in court, as you should.
Thank you, Ms. Parks. Last on our list tonight to speak is Greg Cavalier. Greg? All right, that will conclude our public comments tonight. I want to thank everyone for coming out and that signed up to speak. What's that? Say again? Yes. Yep. I'm sorry. We called your name and it wasn't here, so. Yeah. So, yeah. Malaya Allen, we called your name. So, okay. Done. Was you out? Wait a second. Was you in the restroom because we called your name? Okay.
When did
We'll
you
give
call
you
her name?
time. Come on up.
When did we call it?
This is a collaborative speech written among our peers. We are concerned that the board is choosing to focus on the wrong priorities. There are many issues currently facing our school systems that currently need attention, including the amount of screen time, lack of substitute teacher shortage, and student behavior. Book challenges have not been a problem in this country until you made them a problem. You have taken away important reading material for us to use. But what is the real reason you have banned them? What is so bad in some of these books that you have had to be removed from our school libraries? These books can teach us lessons and prepare us for the real world. Understandably, some books should not be discussed or made available in certain school environments, but a high school book library has a lot of adult content. If a parent has a problem with their student reading a certain book, then that is their responsibility to take it up with the school their student goes to. Parents can email librarians requesting that they do not want their students to read a certain book. Why take away all these books for everyone else, rather than use the system? You banned the book Invisible Boy by Trudy Ludwig, which is a picture book for children, and it was banned because you had mistaken the name for another book. Invisible Boy is about a little boy who feels not seen, and the book teaches people that small acts of kindness can make children feel included. Why would this book be banned? This book can teach children important life lessons, and you banned it, even though there's nothing inappropriate in it.
Whereas books aren't a problem in this county, keeping great teachers is a problem. Teachers are our experts in educating kids. They are supposed to guide and help us become critical thinkers and figure out problems on our own. Unlike what is often said online, teachers are not trying to indoctrinate students. They are trying to help and guide them. Next year, important educational roles are being cut, and those people are critical. We need technical support to help us troubleshoot problems with our technology and teach us. Behavioral support is crucial to a school system, and we need their help. Cutting these important roles to have more resource officers is not the best choice. We're in a teacher shortage, and in some cases, classes are not offered because they can't find qualified people to teach them. There aren't enough subs to go around. When our teachers are absent, we sit in the auditorium. If you hope to keep teachers around, you are going about it the wrong way. Teachers are tired, frustrated, afraid to speak up, and many are trying to get out. Can you blame them when in public comments they are said to be indoctrinating kids and have a school board that doesn't seem to support or listen to them? How about some focus on respecting our teachers? When RCPS loses a good student lose. How about focusing on things that truly matter? You are taking away things that are meant to prepare us in life. If you want to keep us sheltered, but we don't need to be. The quote on the Rockingham County Schools website says, "Educating today's learner, developing tomorrow's future." The choices you have made are not working towards developing tomorrow's future. You are cutting teachers' jobs because you feel they are not important. Long story short, they are very important and we need them. We strongly hope that you change and fix things because you're doing the exact opposite of what a school board is supposed to do. You are supposed to advocate for the public education of all students.
Thank you. I'm sorry you're not on the list tonight. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're not on the list. No. I'm sorry. We're going to go on to our board member comments now. There were 14 people signed up on the sheet, and all 14 people got to speak. So now the public comment time is over. We will move on to board member comments, and I will start tonight with Ms. Burgoyne.
I don't have any comments. I'm good, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Burgoyne. Ms. Cave?
I don't have anything tonight.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Cave. Ms. Hurst? Nothing here. Nothing? All right. Ms. Lohr?
Do we have any students here tonight? Thank you guys for coming. Yay, you all. And we officially have one more student. That would be me. I've got my learner's permit for my bus driver's license, so you all better watch out. And thank you to the transportation for helping facilitate that. And thank you all for coming. Have a safe trip home.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Lohr. Dr. Shiflett, you good? All right. I just want to say tonight, I want to be real brief, but I want to thank everyone that came out to speak tonight. We have listened to the public through this process, and I'm very proud of this board, of the decision that we made tonight, and the policy that we were able to create. So I'm proud of you for standing up for what you believe in and doing what you told the voters that you were going to do. So I'm proud to be able to vote tonight on this policy, and I thank y'all for having such a strong backbone tonight. We do have reason to go into closed session, so at this time, do I hear a motion to go into closed session?
I move that the board enter a closed meeting to discuss and consider the following pursuant to the provisions of Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711.
Hold on. Just hold on. I'm sorry, we still have a meeting going on. If you'd like to exit, please exit quietly.
A1, personnel, specific public officers, appointees, or employees for the purpose of considering such individuals' assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation. And
Wait a
A2.
second. Hold on, Ms. Cave. I can't hear you. And I apologize that you were interrupted. Can you start over from the beginning?
Let me start? Yep. I move that the board enter a closed meeting to discuss and consider the following pursuant to the provisions of Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A1, personnel, specific public officers, appointees, or employees for the purpose of considering such individuals' assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation, and A2, one or more particular students specifically related to requests regarding compulsory school attendance based on religious beliefs that would involve disclosure of information contained in a scholastic record concerning a student.
Thank you, Ms. Cave. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Hurst. Any questions or comments going into closed session? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion passes 5-0. We are now in closed session. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight and for remaining quiet so we could end our meeting. Thank you.